It was pretty funny though when he started talking about the Haitian migrants eating dogs and cats. I mean,
I don't think that helped his case though. Like everyone is just making it's memeable now.
Are they?
No. Probably not. If they were, it's like a very fringe case. There's like this town in Ohio that has like 60,000.
Like a cannibalism roving gang problem within the last calendar year.
These are legal immigrants, by the way. Like these aren't illegal people.
Yeah, Haiti's just a mess. So there's like a lot of refugees coming in from Haiti, and I guess like 20,000 of them went to this town in Ohio with only 60,000 people in it. So a lot of.
If anything, that's the thing to bring up to harp on about immigration is he should have like not talked about dogs and cats and shit and been like, hey, this is a town that's being destroyed because they just dropped 20,000 people in there. They don't have resources to provide for them. Here's a million videos of people on the ground saying they're having trouble getting their benefits, saying that they're being, they can't afford their housing, that they're, having difficulties.
So I've done a bunch of like as much research as you can do in 2 days. I don't know, like 4 hours worth. And I saw a PBS special from like 2 years ago. So it wasn't like current political, and they were loving the Haitians, their work ethic, this, that, the other thing. I saw a town hall meeting on R Conservative, the subreddit, where they were hating the Haitians. They were saying, like, this one woman said there was a person who didn't speak English in her front yard harassing her, and a couple other things. Someone said they killed a goose, I mean to say. And so let's just a little of this, a little of that. I don't know what the truth is. It is a shrinking Rust Belt town. The population dropped from 80,000 to 60,000. And now there are legal immigrants coming and repopulating it. And they're working, they're contributing to the tax base, etc. The town is having some growth problems.
Contributing to the tax base?
Yes, they are contributing to the tax base. They're employed, they're buying homes, they're renting homes. They are putting strain on some of the like resources, like the police and the schools and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but I live in.
So if you were net taxpayers,
I'm still going. In the area of North Carolina that I live in, it also has like explosive growth. So they put strain on like people like me moving from up north. Put strain on the school systems, all the public utilities, etc.
I think the
water. There was a water problem. Not that welcome. Southerners don't like Yankees, and
I mean,
there's like the town I lived in particular was dependent on the town next to it for water, and there was like this big conflict that we could take showers or whatever. And this is what happens when a place has a lot of growth. It would be nice if the immigration maybe didn't let everyone go to the same place, because I have some empathy for how they changed the culture in that area. Like there's a state fair or something, and they're playing Creole music. I'm probably 80% right on this. I don't even know what that sounds like. But, when a town of 60,000 swells up and gets 20,000 immigrants, it changes it from the town you used to know, right? So wouldn't it be cool if they spread these people out and had them do, instead
of
like
they knew that would happen when they bring 20,000 people in from Haiti. Like they knew that would be a result. And like the idea that they're like pumping more money into that community than they're taking out via social services, I don't think is correct. Like,
I think you're making it up, because I looked into it and like I see the city council say, talk about the extra tax revenue. These are not like homeless.
Well, there's more money coming in, but how much is going out is the real question,
Right. Well, like the schools, the class sizes got bigger, right? Stuff like that.
Can't put a value on what we've lost when that happens,
right?
I think the one real complaint that no one's denying is that they're coming in and they're not the best drivers, so they're getting into like a lot of accidents and stuff like that. I haven't seen anyone refute that point. But I imagine over time
complaints about people like going the wrong way on runaway roads. There was an accident in a minivan. This is like a while ago, maybe 4 or 5 years ago. They hit a bus and a kid died and a couple more were injured. So yeah, I don't know. They're driving like Haitians, I guess, and not assimilating. I wish they were more spread out so the load wasn't all on one town. But
I mean, they've interviewed people like on the ground and been like, "What are the impacts of this?" Like people, like normal people who live there who have no incentive to lie, and they're like, "Yeah, they're changing the whole town. I go to get benefits for my grandkids, and I'm waiting in line all day because it's 9 to 1 Haitians." They interviewed the guard at one of the social services offices, like, "What's the breakdown? Like, is it, between Springfielders and Haitians, like 50-50? What's the breakdown looking like?" And the guy clearly didn't want to answer. And he's like, "It's easily 9 to 1.
Yeah, I've seen interviews in both directions. I've seen interviews, like you mentioned, people on the street fussing. I saw the interview of a CEO of a manufacturing plant who's like,
"Oh, well, he's going to love it. His labor cost is down."
It wasn't that they were cheaper. It was that they were more reliable. He's like, they're coming to work every day. They work all the time when they're here. He was pretty happy with
because
the
they're
work
cheaper, and he's probably
immigrants.
getting subsidies for hiring immigrants.
Well, the thing about self-selected immigrants is they tend to like the
coming here
people
to work
that
hard.
get up and go and try to make a better life for themselves by moving from, across the world to America are, regardless of what Trump says, often not the worst members of that society. The worst members just stay there and do nothing and become bums or drug addicts. The ones that look for a better life tend to be the upper crust. Like the Indians I worked with all had servants back home. And not most. I've never worked with an Indian that didn't come from a home with servants. And this is the kind of family that like tries to make a better life for themselves.
I think importing 20,000 Haitians into an Ohio town with 60,000 people is a huge negative for the people that live there.
So I agree. I like, so with H-1B visas, if you don't know how that works, they have to have a special skill set. They're a little loose on that. And they only are allowed to stay here on that visa if they keep their job. Like, we brought you in here to do this job in our country. It's less, I think, 7 years. And during that 7 years, hopefully they get a green card or something or go back.
Or an anchor baby.
Sure.
I don't think that works, but I don't know. In any case, I was trying to thought with the anchor baby thing. So what I'm saying is, like, there is a precedent for sort of an assigned sort of immigration. Like, oh, you're coming here because you can fill this job at this place and do this thing. Why don't we do that with more immigrants? Like, you know what? Springfield's full. If you want to come here from Haiti, you need to be, fill up some other particular job and have some particular role instead of like taking over a town and making it yours.
It's because like it's clearly an instance of something that the people there don't want it. And so why should it be done to them?
It's whenever I see some people on the ground being interviewed about it, it seems like lower class white people are the ones that have the biggest issue because they're probably used to paying $700 a month for rent. And then these guys come in and, they all split a house and, the price goes up to, $800, $900, $1,000. And, for a high upper middle class white person, it's probably not that big of a deal. Oh, we get Haitian food. But for someone that's lower class, waiting in a longer line to get your government assistance or having to pay an extra $150 a month for rent, that's a massive blow. And
if there are legitimate complaints of Haitians moving to Springfield, Ohio, they were lost by former President Fuckface saying they're eating your cats and dogs. And now it's become a meme because he can't make articulate points like a normal person. He has to lie and exaggerate. And that's all people heard.
Well, yeah, I was cracking up during that just because he says that. And I know because I'm on Twitter what he's talking about. But like the average Fox News viewer or something probably has no idea what he's rambling on there. He just
Twitter brain was apparent the entire interview. Like the lies that he was telling are only, it's bullshit that you hear on Twitter. And the moderators were fact checking along the way, and it made him look bad. He said that he won the 2020 election, and they fact checked him on three things. There was the eating people's cats, winning the 2020 election, and a third one I can't recall off the top of my head. But they were the most egregious.
Was it killing babies 6 months after birth?
It was killing babies after they were born. Was the other one they fact checked? Yeah, and they said that's not legal in any state.
Yeah, the infanticide one. It's like. I want your receipts, dude. Like I can believe what it sounded like he was inferring or suggesting once was that there was a governor in Virginia or somewhere who at one point had said something like set the child aside and we'll decide after. And I'm sure it's taken out of context. But like I just want those receipts. I want to know what he's misrepresenting to be that. Because there's nowhere where they're birthing babies, putting it in the incubator and being like, oh, you don't want this one? Yeah, we already got him hooked up. Oh, you'll pay? All right.
Right. Like Trump's arguments and case for presidency become less effective when he bases it on lies than if he had based it on something that was true.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done the cat thing. Like at least wait for like a video of a Haitian eating a cat to come out or something before you say that. But like, yeah, the core of it, like that it's destroying that county or that city or whatever, like that seems entirely undeniable. Like
I don't know about ruining. It's affecting certain people that currently live there. But you look at any town.
A lot of the people there are.
You should refer to it as transforming the culture or making little Haiti in Ohio a Democratic voting base. Let me tell you how many people did they bring?
20,000.
The estimates are.
Let me show you
grand.
the margins in the last few elections, and then you break it down. That's what he should talk about. He should call it voter manipulation. He should have called it importing a Democratic votes into a state that, for some reason, has been red for a long time now. Didn't he win it even in 2020? Didn't he win
Ohio?
So,
It's been red for a long time.
You know, he just doesn't know how to pivot, and he doesn't know how to do that. And
I would like die before I ate relish packets for that long, I think. I mean, if there were seagulls around, I would have been like lighting things on fire, like trying anything.
Like the Haitians.
I'd be, yes. I'd find a nice Canadian goose. Put his head off, make a nice tasty meal.
You know, I don't know who's pro goose in this situation, but it's not me. Fuck
not me either,
They're
frankly.
all mean. Yeah, if Haitians are eating geese, dude, you can do that. It's okay. They're free. Go get everyone you want.
You know what the problem is, really? They're literally one of the birds that you're not allowed to do that with. There's a whole bunch of like animal protection agencies and like the EPA are like, oh, we can't. Oh, Canadian
Taylor and his big government pro
precious.
geese agenda is
those
bullshit.
are federally protected.
No, I'm coming down against it. I want us to wage war on these Canadian geese. They're so uppity. They know what they can do whatever they want.
Taylor rubs Vaseline on their eggs when he finds them.
What does that?
What does that do?
You don't know?
Does it? Let me guess. It suffocates them.
It does something to him. It kills them because that was a whole Letterkenny.
Otherwise, I'm wasting a lot of Saturdays.
There's a Letterkenny episode.
A waste of time hobby.
Yeah, remember there's that Letterkenny episode where over at the golf course they're wanting to get rid of all the Canada geese, and they're killing them, and all the characters from Letterkenny are super angry about it. They're super defensive of the Canada geese. I better not be a Canada goose. You know,
maybe they really do have pride over their geese up there. I wouldn't think so. They're
all birds are assholes, but geese are amongst the top. I've seen geese bully bulls. How's that happen?
When I hear that Haitians are killing geese and eating them in parks, I'm okay with it. But I bet if I saw it, I'd be shocked and disturbed. Because here's what I imagine. I imagine that we're all having a normal white people day at the park with like picnic baskets and shit, right? And then we glance over and there's a bunch of dudes that sound French but don't look it. And they're beating a goose to death with a club. And then they're plucking it while having a casual conversation at the table next to us. And while the other one starts a trash fire in one of those publicly provided grill areas, you know what I'm talking about? And then they proceed to roast. And then they got to rip the guts out, which are going right in the same trash.
I'm pro-Haitian. I really prefer they burn wood. That's part of the story I didn't like.
No, we burn it on Coors Light boxes.
It is off-putting. I don't like it.
I wouldn't like that's what went down, right? Like, there's no way they were had normal cutlery and no, they plucked they murdered probably a beloved bird. That was like Ernie the goose.
The guy I saw walking across the street with the beheaded goose did not. He wasn't giving off Gordon Ramsay vibes.
Oh, that's Chef Jean Pierre. No, it's not. That's barbecue. The Haitian cannibal.
Yes,
he escaped.
He's going to eat.
Remember that, right? I'm not making that up. There was a Haitian warlord cannibal.
There was. He was one of the Haitian warlords. There were some other cannibal rivals. We didn't know their names because I guess they weren't as good at branding as old.
Are there any cannibal warlords of note from your state?
St. Louis, maybe.
Actually, maybe St. Louis is a bad place to go.
There's probably a cannibal in the city area.
My point is they're not sending their best. Okay, they're sending their warlords. They're sending their cannibals.
They're eating our gooses, folks. A lot of our gooses going missing. I hate them too, but they're American. Like, he'd even get that wrong. American goose.
That's a noble bird.
Noble bird. They're not noble bird. Maybe at their best of days, they could be a little bit noble. Swan is a noble bird, but swans also,
they're dicks too.
They're pretty ornery. I think they're less likely than goose to get up in your business. Like, I think they want to get away from you.
Find a cool bird. I challenge you. But go ahead. Take a domesticated parrot and put your finger in the cage. See how that works out for you.
It's going to bite you.
Oh, I don't know. I've seen ducks cuddle with kids. They wrap their long little neck around the kids.
That's AI, Kyle.
No, that's fucking real, dude. Ducks are so sweet. I've saw a chicken run up to its favorite kid and jump into its arms and it's like nuzzling. When I see shit
I do have a
the other day
experience.
Let me tell you the other sad fucking shit I saw the other day. I saw a crippled pig and its brother is bringing it food. It's getting a big mouthful of like hay, and it takes it out to like the little doghouse that the crippled pig lives in. And the camera lady's like, "Oh, you looking after your brother? That's a good boy." And I was like, "Fuck, I eat those things. I've got a whole pork loin in my fridge."
Their names were bacon and sausage.
It was. Look at that guy. Look how sweet. It's like a puppy dog eyes.
You look deep into those eyes and you see evil. That duck has plans.
I could become a vegetarian if they could just make some artificial meat that would convince me. I absolutely would stop. Reddit poisons me against hurting these things. I think so sweet.
Of the bird world, ducks are probably the cutest. But I don't like. Other than that, I don't even think there is a close second.
I used to be more merciless when it came to
maybe a hummingbird. Eat them all. Hummingbirds don't bother anyone. They're just doing their own thing.
I caught one the other day with my hands. It got
really?
Yeah. It flew into my gym, and it's got a high pitched ceiling, and it was up there hovering, like clearly panicked because it couldn't stop hovering, and it'd been up there a long time. And I know they got like a weird metabolism, like it burns really fast, so that can be dangerous for them. So I like get on top of my dip machine, and I mean standing on the tippy top of it, and it's rocking. And I've got a blanket in my hands trying to capture this motherfucker, but I can't like grab him like he's a baseball.
Yeah, you're gonna hurt him.
He's the most fragile creature I can imagine. But I caught him very gently, and I had him like this in the blanket, and he's going like a puppy. It sounded like a crying puppy, and my dogs are losing their fucking shit.
Let us eat it.
Yeah. But remember, I'm tippy top of a dip machine. I'm 6 feet. My feet are 6 feet in the air, and I'm standing up tall, holding this thing, and the dogs. Now the dogs are on the machine at the bottom, rocking it, and I'm doing like a slow crap, like squat to like lower my center of gravity, and like using my elbows and knees and crawling down with no hands because I can't release this thing without hurting it. And finally get outside, and I'm like, "Please fly free." And when I open my hand, sure enough, he like flew off.
Good.
Into the day. I was so happy for him.
Good for you.
Way better than my experience. I saw a hummingbird. I put gasoline in the jar and held it up against the ceiling. I was like, "Oh, that's wasps."
That's wasps. I did that, and he hated it.
Poor little guy.
He went into a deep sleep, and I left him outside to recover his own pace.
And then when I let him go from the gasoline, he just flopped to the ground. Kyle did it better.
Yeah. Well, good for you, Kyle. That's a very kind. I guess what are we? Great ape. Great apes that are pretty chill to little birds like that. Chimp would have torn it up.
Hominids.
Gorilla would have probably ripped it up.
Oh, any of those things. That's a great Family Guy bit, by the way. There's a gorilla like petting a kitten, and Lois walks up. She's like, "Oh, isn't that cute?" And Peter's like, "Yeah, it took a while, but he stopped tearing them in half." Yes. They pan over, and there's a huge pile of kittens torn in half. It's kind of the same as that Chappelle joke where he's like got the monkey, and he's like, "You want to go out tonight?" "Nah, ninja. Staying home with my monkey." Yeah. He taught the monkey to suck dick. He's like, "You know how long it took me to suck dick without peeling it first?"